been 6 other major terror attacks in Turkey since July of last year. Well, let's take a look at some of them more in detail. Well, there were 2 attacks in March, one on the 19th, one of Istanbul's most popular shopping districts. 5 people were killed in that incident. And less than a week earlier, a car bomb attack in one of Ankara's main squares killed 37 people. Another bomb in the capital in February killed 29, most of whom were soldiers. A military convoy was the target in that attack. And in January, a suicide attack near Istanbul's Blue Mosque killed 11 tourists. And worst of all, the attack in October of last year at Ankara's main train station, where more than 100 people were killed by 2 suicide bombers. And the attacks that marked the beginning of this latest wave of violence was in July of last year, when 33 people were killed in a suicide bomb in Suruç in the country's southeast. Well, to try and tie all of some of that together, we can speak to Galip Dalay, the research director from the Al Sharq Forum in Istanbul, who joins us now live on set. Galip, good to see you, as always. So let's just start with the news we just got coming into us. 4 arrests, so the investigation is moving on apace, isn't it?
Well, I mean, investigation is moving fast. Still, the name of the organization behind it has not been declared, but more or less right now, it seems that 2 groups are being particularly scrutinized to see which one is behind the attack. One of them is the PKK, the other one is the Daesh. PKK is because of the fact that the target is the police officers, and the way that it has been conducted points to PKK. On the other hand, the Daesh cannot be just put aside, because we have also experienced with Daesh attacks both in different parts of Turkey, in Istanbul, Ankara, Suruç, and Diyarbakir. So we are yet to know which groups exactly was behind the...
And one of the things that struck me about this particular attack this morning is just the size of that bomb. That car bomb was a huge explosion, wasn't it?
Well, it was a huge explosion, and that's one of the things that, you know, make us to think more and more that it is a work of the PKK, because Daesh usually uses the suicide bombers. They don't use big car bomb, etc. When you look at the track record of most of the car bombs that has taken place since the July 20, 2015, which was more or less the date when the wave of this terrorist attack has started, we see that the Daesh has predominantly used the suicide bomber, and also relatively did not target the officials or the police or security officials. Rather, it had 2 groups in mind. One of them, the foreigners living in Turkey and the tourists. The other one, the extension of the Kurdish politics, which is the HDP and the other left organization. Whereas when we look at the PKK, it is, the car bombing is quite a widely used method, and the security officials are the primary target.
Absolutely, they are usually the target of the PKK. With the size of this explosion that we had this morning, what does that tell us about their capability as a group at this point in the fight?
The capability of the
group of the PKK to be able to get such a huge car bomb into Istanbul.
One of the factors that we are actually seeing more and more, the old-style terrorist attack, urban warfare attacks, shows that the PKK's capability to some extent has been decreased, because previously PKK was concentrated on controlling the areas, as when they declared that they are going to declare the self-declared autonomous regions in the Kurdish part of Turkey. So then they declared that they are going to have chest-to-chest fight. But now, once again, we are seeing more and more PKK adopting old-style terrorist bombing. What these tell us about its capability? Well, its capability of carrying out attacks is there. It's still there. It can inflict a huge pain and huge damage and huge loss of lives on Turkey. But on the other hand, it could not live up to its promise of continuing with the chest-to-chest fight, and also having a self-declared autonomous region under its authority. So reduction in its capability of controlling the areas, but nevertheless continuing its capability of carrying out the attack of that magnitude is still there.
Absolutely.
But nevertheless, we are still yet to know the official announcement about who were behind the attacks.
Absolutely, we wait for that. Galip, it's always good
You're
to speak
welcome.
to you. Thanks for coming in.
Sure.